how the preparations are going for the Level Cup?
No, but first, Shoops, I think the starting point is, as you've rightfully said, greetings to members of the media. Good to see some familiar faces and some warm faces. The second and the most proper thing is to also appreciate and extend sincere gratitude for your patience. Thank you for being patient with us. You know, we've got training also at the same time, so that's that. Preparations for the Carling Black Label, I think we are in a good space. The players are looking very sharp and looking very focused to the match. The attitude has been very, very good. We've been putting in a lot of work also behind the scenes, so we're looking forward to participating, and not just participating, but lifting the trophy.
Thank you, Coach. And then just if there's any questions to the players about Bafana will have its own press conference. You can ask the questions there, so at least there's content from that side at that time. So, all right, thank you. It's a request from sponsors also. Thank you. Sponsors. Oh, Khalid. Thank you. Yeah, Khalid. Thank you. So, any questions from the floor? For one.
Thanks. Coach Teboho from BNC.
Sure, Teboho.
Yeah, so are you... Yeah, Coach, obviously this cup is about this. Yeah, obviously the starting lineup is chosen by fans.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on how the Masandawana selected the first 11.
Fortunately, Tsepo, I've been in this situation before. When I was at Orlando Pirates, we participated in this competition. We won the competition also, fortunately, I think twice. And because you've been in it and you have that sort of experience, it's a little bit easier to be in a space where you accept whatever decision has been made. And of course, sometimes there are situations where you have 7 midfielders and no defenders. But huge credit to the Mamelodi Sundowns fans, because from what I've seen so far, and I don't know when the voting ends and then you have that finality of the squad, but from what I've seen so far, they're showing very, very, very strong tactical acumen, and they show a very strong understanding of their players' strengths, and also very good game intelligence. So huge kudos to the Brazilians for what I think is a well-balanced squad so far that they've chosen. Back.
Good day, Coach.
Yes, sir.
From Sports.
Sure, come on.
Coach, you go into this competition, this is more like MTN 8 revived. In this sense, you're not facing Orlando Pirates this time around, you're facing Amazulu. You swapped opponents. Your thoughts going into this game, and playing in the morning as well, probably might be a bit unusual, so to speak. So, but how do you fancy your chances going to Amazulu? And
yeah, you know, it's a very good question. I had a very interesting discussion with Shupi. I'm actually going to try and keep this very, very short. But there are things that God prepares you for, and in certain moments, you are not even aware why you are involved in something like that. For an example, and I'll go into a biblical sense, David had to fight the bear with his bare hands, and he fought the bear with his bare hands without any form of ammunition. But that was God preparing him to be strong enough to go and fight Goliath. But this time, God knew that with his bare hands, he would never get Goliath down. but he had to put him through that experience of being involved in that type of fight or that type of situation so that he could overcome the other situation. So when you say it's an abnormal situation of playing at 9 o'clock in the morning and then playing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can say to you I'm used to this because I coach Black Poison sometimes on the weekends, and some of your colleagues are there with me. And at 9 o'clock I play the semi-final, and at 3 o'clock I play the finals. But I have a clear understanding that this is not about me. I always explain and I say to you guys that this is a game, and a game of football that belongs to the football players. And ours is to just try to give them that little bit of experience that we've picked up when we've been involved in so many situations where Ekasi, we play the top four. But later on we have to play the final and we have to win. And that's how I look at it, you know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think and how I feel and what experiences I have. If I cannot transmit that knowledge, that experience, and that confidence into the players together with the rest of the coaches, then it means nothing. So I'm not so sure it's as foreign to me as you've asked, from a personal perspective, as many would think.
My coach, Pedro Sitole here from DSM. Coach,
Sure,
we're
Pedro.
going to face Amazulu, and yesterday I had a conversation with Amazulu boss for some reason. Was talking about how big it will be for the club to win this competition since they didn't want anything in the last decade. So, Sundowns, the club that is on only clubs in the last few years, how important it will be to add this trophy into your cabinet, considering that it's the first time in the competition, and also we've seen Sundowns leaders advancing to the final. Yesterday, what would be the message of encouragement for them to do well in the final day?
You're speaking about the ladies.
Just adding up on the second question. I'm speaking about firstly, how important it would be for Sundowns to lift this trophy
Yeah.
since it's their first time in the competition.
Yeah.
And secondly, what would be your message of encouragement to the ladies since they
Oh.
the final?
Oh. Well, it's the only one missing in the trophy cabinet at the moment. Fortunately on my left and fortunately on my right, I have players sitting with me and many others that are on the field who have an unquenchable thirst for success and wanting to win. I will paint a picture for you. We played Kaizer Chiefs and we were leading, and we conceded a penalty. And Ronwen made that save, but his celebration after making that save was one that could easily be interpreted as the match-winning penalty save. And that goes to show the personality, the character, the winning appetite that this group of players has. And even with what we've done as a club in the past, with winning the trophies that we have won, I am sure that even though Tebza and Ronwen and many others of the players that are here have won so many other trophies, but for sure, I can guarantee you that they will show no signs of it's a friendly or let's play. These guys want to win football matches, and they will do whatever it takes to support the club and help us to put the one trophy that does not exist at the moment in the trophy cabinet. My advice to the girls is just continue doing what you're doing. I mean, they've got a fantastic record already. They won 1-0 yesterday. Queen scored the goal that helped the team get into the final. Their record of finishing first in the group and making sure that they score 11 goals and only concede one. What more do I have to say as a coach? except to say continue, because we are extremely proud of you, and not just as a club, Mamelodi Sundowns. And I can tell you a secret. Yesterday, I've got this habit of I've got this habit of checking statuses of people and commenting when I see Malakias sometimes, you know. But I can tell you that for majority of the players yesterday, their statuses was our Sundowns team on their WhatsApp stories. And that only goes to show how committed we are as a team to be together, to fight together, and to uphold the prestigious honor of playing for this club that wants to win every single trophy and every single game that we play. And that goes from the youth, that goes to the first team, and fortunately we've got a group of exceptionally talented women that are coached by an exceptionally talented coach in Jerry, who also continue to uplift and carry this brand called Mamelodi Sundowns.
Coach, space over the CBC.
Sure.
Your last match, I think, was on the 29th
Yep.
of October.
Yep.
That long break,
Yep.
how much will this affect you going into this one-day tournament? That is reality.
Thanks, Sfiso. Actually, it came in very handy because we needed time away from each other. Yeah, we work very hard here. We are extremely intense and extremely demanding. But you know, it doesn't only apply in relationships that work off the pitch, but it applies also in relationships where even as we work together, we form a bond, we become a family. And when you become a family, there's some form of emotional connotation that develops. And because there's an emotional connotation that develops, it's very easy to see each other every day and take each other for granted. It's very, very easy. But like they say, and it's a cliche, that absence makes the heart grow fonder. And sometimes in a football club, when you have to work, you put in the hours and you put in the shifts and you grind and you make sure that you do the best that you can. But there comes a time when even after spending an entire week in Durban, you give the players a couple of days off just to switch off and spend time with their families and do the things that they also love doing apart from football, because those are the things that allow them to grow even fonder for the experiences that they get when they're around us. So we looked at the break in a positive way, and we were very happy with how the players came back and acquitted themselves.
Can we have some questions for the
Ronwen, going into what Coach said now, how have you mentally adapted to coming to Sundowns? Because obviously you're still with the national team. It means always traveling, always away from your family, and probably the demands are higher here from a mental side at Sundowns. And then to Tebza, I was speaking to someone who was previously in this tournament, the Black Label Cup, and they said if you're not voted in the lineup and you think you're a big player, then you're not really a big player because the fans decide who's the big players in the team. So some of the guys out there who's not in the team, how are they taking that?
Good day, everyone. It's been a pleasure for me to be part of such an amazing team, massive brand of the continent. I set so much high standards for myself that the adaptation was smooth for me. It was easy because I want to be better. I want to be challenging myself to be better each and every day. So, the transition for me, as much as I was at my previous club for such a long time, it was easy, and knowing a lot of the players, having worked with them before, made it much more easy for me, and it's been smooth, and like I said, I've got a mentality of winning, and this big brand, this big club associate themselves with winning. So yeah, the transition has been smooth.
And he's been exceptional. I don't know if you guys have seen how many attacks Ronwen has actually been responsible for in this club so far. Just go back and watch the goal that we scored against Maritzburg United, and you tell me how many goalkeepers in this country can make a pass like that.
Oh, good day everyone. To answer your question, at Mamelodi Sundowns we have a lot of bunch of quality players, and I wouldn't fault the fans for voting for them to start. And as for, I'm not a big player or I'm a big player. What I know is I know I'm a big player, so I don't need anyone to tell me I'm a big player. So that's why I'm here in Mamelodi Sundowns, and that's why I'm playing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ronwen, you came to Sundowns and there were question marks about you coming here. I mean, knowing that they've got quite a galaxy of goalkeepers. I mean, their names speak for themselves, even in the continent. There was always that concern that your national team place was going to be compromised. How was it for you settling in, knowing that on your left there's a forward? There's an there's the young, all of those goalkeepers that you're looking at. I mean, how did it come about for you to settle in so fast? Almost similarly saying walking into the team and watching and moving to the second one, the current Black Label Cup. You've always watched it from the other side. Now you are in the cup. What does it mean to you?
Sorry, before he answers, Titi, we all make mistakes, ne? So the next time we play Ronwen as a striker, please also forgive us, and understand that we also make mistakes. But anyway, sorry, sorry, Ronwen, sorry.
Yeah, obviously it motivated me, first of all that a massive team like Sundowns showed interest in me. It showed that they believe that I can add value. And it motivated me in a sense that I worked with Dennis before, I worked with Riyadh, and I saw over the years how they game improved. And that's what I was looking for the last few years, was to improve. I've got so much abilities that was hidden, and that's being, it's coming out now at such a big team, where we spend lots of hours with the coach, and he shows me a lot of things, that I can do that I haven't been doing over the years. So that motivated me, was to see how Dennis, how Riyadh, how Kennedy has improved over the years. So I think in the short space that I've been here, I think I've improved, already, and there's so much more for me to work on to get even better. So that motivates me and that excites me. Coming to the Carling Black Label, obviously we're looking forward to it. We want to add our name on it. I'm looking at the trophy now, and for obvious reasons, our name is not on there. So we would like to add it there, because we are a big team and we want to associate ourselves with big trophies. And for us, we want to win each and every trophy.
Good coach. Can you just give us an update on Ronwen Williams? He's back on the team pitch, and also to the two players. How awkward is this early start, physically, mentally? Because under normal circumstances, of course, 9 would probably be in breakfast. So how awkward is it?
Breakfast 9:30. I get here how no. So it's on to you that FNB Stadium. So, how awkward is it?
No, it's not awkward.
So what was young? I
I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I mean, we are professionals. We've played times 10 o'clock at night. We've played early in the morning. So just for us to do our job, obviously we can't sleep late now, so it means sleep a bit earlier. So you just have to adjust to the situation, and we are professionals and just get the job done.
You mean you guys, the players, sleep earlier? Yeah, they laugh at me when I walk in sometimes, and I've got one eye open and the other. So yeah, but anyway, Peter Shalulile, I always believe that speaking about players that he's here, we love him. He's adored by his teammates, and he's adored because he's an incredible human being. But as a coach, this has been something that over the smaller nyana years that I have picked up with the experience of many people, you know, and I understand, because sometimes I also forget, you know, because of my age. But many people do not realize that this is my second big club that I am head coach of, and I have learned a hell of a lot throughout the years. And one of the things that I've also learned is that when it comes to injuries, I very seldom speak about players that are unavailable. And the only reason I do that is because the energy and the emotions that I derive when I speak about a player that is unavailable are negative energies and negative emotions, because then it saddens me and it's more, oh, this, that. I rather talk about the players that are available, because that then derives more positive energy, because then you are able to give a player like Cassius an opportunity, and you're giving him an opportunity not because of the absence of someone else, which is more negative, but you give him an opportunity because you believe that he can do the job and he deserves the place in the team like anybody else. And that is driven from a more positive side. So I don't like speaking about players that are not available, because I don't like to live in that space of negativity. I'd rather speak about players that we give opportunities to, who shine and make sure that they give the best that they can, because that then fills me with more positive energy than negative energy.
I think we need to start wrapping it up. So for the last 4 questions.
Don't talk.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Teboho. Coach,
Hi,
you
Karabo.
guys don't have much control over this game in regards to the starting 11. Is it a proper case of the players play the match and not the positions, because sometimes positions really limits the players? Is it that case in the game on Saturday? And Teboho, you play a very specialized position, and there's a lot of quality players in that position. What is your relationship like with those players, your Andile Janis, your Benten, Zungus, other players as well? What's your relationship like off the pitch? Thank you.
No start.
No, we have a good relationship with the guys, especially Bongs, Spola, Pito, and everyone else. So I don't.
the one thing I can say to you guys about Teboho Mokoena, and maybe even with me, I've fallen victim to this, and I'm sorry, Karabo, to hijack your question on his behalf, but I could see that he was also trying to find the right words and they couldn't come. But I want to just say to you that maybe I was also victim to this, because every time Teboho was an opponent, there would be a tackle that goes on the head, or there would be this robustness that was borderline aggression, borderline anger, borderline a heart that was not, you could easily say that the heart is not very, very good. And I fell victim to that too while I was an opponent. But I can tell you now, having spent so much time with him now, that he is actually very far from that. He is an incredible human being with such a good heart that looks after his teammates, that looks after his coaches, and that looks after even his own family. You know, and that's where some of these things start. So sometimes when we start to ask, how's your relationship with this person and with that person? It's very easy to answer that question when you are a good human being. Because good human beings have good relations with other people, because they are good human beings. So Tebza is a very, very, very good human being. And he's one of the players that when you look around, in fact, to be honest, we are very fortunate that we are surrounded and privileged that we've got so many good human beings in this club, and therefore you don't expect anything else except very good relations between Tebza and AJ, because AJ is a top person also, or Tebza and Bongani Zungu, because Zungu is a top person also. So in that space I can answer on his behalf, because maybe he is too modest to say maybe the word modest I can't use anymore, because he already spoke about himself being a big player. But no, but it's true, and it's something that I admire, you know, because in football, if you look across the world, one of the biggest differences between exceptional players and the top players and the ones that are average, the biggest difference is the mindset. Is that they've got this relentless belief in not only in themselves but in the team, and that as a mindset alone is not good enough, because big players produce. And I don't have to take you too far. Our last game against Royal AM, there's a sprint that comes 15 meters from the halfway line onto Teboho Mokoena. And you know who dispossesses Teboho Mokoena? It's Teboho Mokoena. But it's not a run that is, no, it's a big player run. With intensity, with aggression, with the possibilities of saying, I'm a big player, I deliver for my team. And on top of that, it's very easy to say, oh, I've done it. I've got the ball back. That's my job, is to win the ball. But this guy, he continues to run, accelerate at speed. He's not the fastest, we all know. But you could easily have said that he could, you know that sprint that I made in the Netman Cup. That sprint is probably the fastest sprint at Mamelodi Sundowns. But you could easily say that Tebza was almost very, very close to accelerating at that speed. But he moved so fast and so aggressive to be able to put the ball into the box, and we ended up scoring. That for me is not just a sign that he's a big player. It's a sign that he's a good human being, because he's at service and he does whatever it takes, even if it means sweating blood, in order for him to be of assistance and help the team. So that is how I would describe him and his relationship with his teammates. And there should be no questions, because at the end of the day, we are full of very good people. And the examples that I've just shown you or put forward to you exemplify the fact that he's an exceptional human being. He's a problem, but he's an exceptional human being.
Coach, here. Coach, I wanted to know with regard to the challenge players, there are some players whom I see from the challenge.
Yep.
I saw Mokwena to Siasi, Perhaps when can we perhaps see some of them when you make your substitutions, the likes of the Dokus especially?
Very possible. So I know how much the supporters love seeing their own, and hopefully we can give an opportunity to some of them for some game time. We are in a little bit of a predicament because we are struggling with some injuries at the moment, and therefore there's some very good players that Bongo, the right back, exceptional for us this season in the MDC. Jerome, the striker, he's been very good for us. Sia has been exceptional at left back. So we give these opportunities, and unfortunately I said to them, my biggest problem is that I spent too many years coaching the youth, including coaching against Supersport and beating Supersport with Tebza and Ronza in the teams, while I was at Sundowns. But the challenge is the challenge is when you are a coach that spent so many years working with the youth and working with some of the most talented young players in the country, like Percy, Madisha, and them, you've always got some form of cognitive bias towards the young players, and hopefully we can give them an opportunity.
Coach, Dennis from Kickoff.
Yes, sir.
You played the last two games without the so-called big name players and you scored 8 goals. How do you see the situation? And also, I see you during the football also still part of the team. How far in terms of the backing up?
No, at Sundowns, the fortunate part at Sundowns is we've got no big players. We don't have. We work on a principle of meritocracy, and that is the first point. In our team, we believe you play because you deserve to play, and it's about merit, regardless of the name on the back of the jersey. The most important name at Mamelodi Sundowns is the badge and the name that is in the front. And we have all made an agreement that we are servants. And the easiest way to paint a picture for you is if you go to a restaurant and you order food, there's a waitress or a waiter that comes to you. That's a servant. You are sitting in your chair and you are ordering your meal. You don't stand up from your table and go to the kitchen and go and fetch your meal. So what happens is, as servants, we are taking orders from the Mamelodi Sundowns supporters. And they say to us with our notepad, for us today is 3 points. For us today, the order is the Carling Black Label. For us today, we need to win the league, the Champions League. That's the order of the day. Our job is then to go into the kitchen and say, this is the order that the Mamelodi Sundowns supporters have asked for. And that kitchen so happens to be the pitch. So we have to go into the pitch and with all the chefs and all the things come together as a team, put this meal together and make sure that it is at the best level possible so that we are able to deliver it back to the supporters. And that's our job. We are in this game of football to be servants. And as servants, ours is to make sure that it's not about us. I don't go into the kitchen as a waitress and order a meal that I want. I order the meal that the supporter wants. And I have to order it with due diligence, and I have to make sure that it is at the level that is required and is expected. And that's how we think about it. So nobody becomes the most expensive chef or the biggest chef or the biggest waiter or the biggest waitress. We don't have space like that. Ours is to make sure that we are all on the same page, doing the same things and serving our people as best as we possibly can. And that has been our focus. Excuse me? Oh, Jody. Jody is here. He's training with us. We have high hopes for Jody. He's an incredible goalkeeper. He comes from a very good institution where the work that was done with Jody in relation to his growth was exceptional. I had the privilege of playing against Jody in the Under-19 Bay Hill Metropolitan Cup, where he was outstanding. IX beat us as Sundowns 1-0, and I can tell you 100%, maybe 80% of that was because of Jody's excellent performance. And he's a boy that we believe has got incredible potential. The one positive that he has, which overrides maybe the negative, because the negative is he wants to play and he wants to be in a space where he can compete and get better and play and get minutes like every other player, you know. The unfortunate part is we couldn't find the right environment because we feel Jody is way better than being an NFD goalkeeper. And so we had to look around and try to find him a place that could stimulate him and help him to get to that level that we expect him to be. But the positive of that, and even though we could not find that, the positive of that is that every single day he gets to spend time with one of the best goalkeeper coaches in the country, which is Wendell. He gets to spend time with Bafana's #1, learning, training, and being sharpened by one of the best South African goalkeepers, if not the best South African goalkeeper in the country. He gets to train with 2 already of the best on the African continent, which is Dennis and Kennedy. So what more do you need as a young goalkeeper when you are marinated by greatness? You are surrounded by some of the best goalkeepers in the world. You are learning from some of the best goalkeepers in the world. So Jody's situation is not a situation that is a problem situation for us. In fact, we love the fact that he is around Ronwen and he is learning. He is around Dennis, who was in the team, the CAF team of the century. He is around a goalkeeper like Kennedy, who has won AFCON, Champions League titles. He's around Riyadh, who is an exceptional human being and a top professional and a top trainer. Now, if you are around people like that, all that does to you is, because we are creatures of habit, you pick up these good things, and it is only a matter of time. He just has to be patient and work his way to being able to get to a point where he can also compete for Sundowns' #1 position.
Hi Ronwen, from Sports News South Africa. So your new teammate Mokwena brought out your fellow main teammate Vele Motwa with the same kind of free kick you almost nailed with a month ago. What do you make of Saleng's free kick ability, and what do you make of the nature of the goal and the coincidental nature of the goal?
Yeah, obviously, he's a top player. Scored a top goal. He's been exceptional the last month or so. So it's for me as a goalkeeper to learn from that. Ask myself, I was lucky it didn't happen to me, the next time. So, I done my analysis, rightfully so. So it was an awkward angle. So I asked myself why I didn't get there. So I done my analysis. So big ups to him for scoring in the final. That's all I can say.
Very good.
Can we have, this will be the last, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. No, we're done. So I think we've been here for quite some time. Thank you, Shubi.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For all you guys.
For sure.
You
Just choose one so that
Yeah.
all right, whoever.
You can choose one and tell us which one you want.
The one under the table.
I'm trying to avoid it.
Coach, this is like a voting competition.
Sure.
Shows maybe the number of fans out there.
Sure.
And you guys have basically dominated the football scene. Setman High just come from Malawi where they
Sure.
want to Kosafa. The girls are doing the thing out there. Your domination and the relationship between the number of fans that you then get when voting for something like this comes up, is your domination showing in the number of fans that are growing in the club, or is it just South African fans that is linked to you?
I wish I could say that. No chance. It's a difficult question to answer, and I really honestly, and with all due respect, I don't want to get too much into that space. What I can say to you is we as Mamelodi Sundowns are doing a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes, not just to grow the fan base, because the fan base also grows because of the results. People want to be associated with winners. And so the work that we are doing on the pitch is the work that allows us to be able to put ourselves in a position where the fans are behind us. And that is got absolutely nothing first to do with us, the coaches, hence I say I don't want to answer the question. But the reality is the work that the players are doing, because the game belongs to the players, is indicative of what you see with regards to the fans. That's number one. But number two, you've got to pay huge compliments to Mamelodi Sundowns' management team. And when I say management team, I'm talking from Shupi himself, standing right here, who's got number one responsibility of engaging with supporters, engaging with media, and making sure that the communication about the club is in a way that puts the club in a position where everybody understands that the club is growing. But at the same time, you've also got to look and give huge credits to the chairman of this club, Klopi Motsepe, and his team. From a marketing perspective, I can talk about Zanele, I can talk about Tabo, I can talk about so many of them. Kylie, these people are working behind the scenes every single day to give us good content for Sundowns Sky's the Limit TV, to give us good content for the digital magazine, to give us good content with regards to the road shows and the availability of the players. Now, I'm saying it is a club that is investing a hell of a lot of time and resources into making sure that the brand is built and is bigger and better and better. And mind you, we are a club that is doing all of these things without any pressure, because there is no pressure while you are winning. And so you could easily, as a club, sit and say, the supporters will support us because we've won 4, 5, 6, 7 league trophies in a row. And so you rest on your laurels. But this incredible club, with the vision of the people of this club, from the president, the chairman, from the management team, marketing department, and all the people involved, shows you how special and lucky we are to have people like that. And that is why I can't answer that question, because it doesn't fall directly into my scope. But I can say that I feel privileged to be part of an organization that doesn't want to sit in a position where they are comfortable on their laurels, but they want to see the team growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's it.
Okay. Final question.
Sure. Say final question.
To Ronza. Yesterday I spoke to Shishi, and then obviously asking about who would he prefer to face in the final, and he said that he prefers Sundowns, not to underestimate Pirates or Amazulu. Yes, Mshini Matsuri.
Oh.
Not to say he's undermining Amazulu Pirates, but he said hypothetically if you beat Pirates the next game is obviously Sundowns. Your thoughts on who would you have to meet should you make the final? Thanks.
I don't have any preference. The main thing is for Sundowns to be in the final. That's all I can say on that.
But can I remind you? Can I remind you? Salah was asked the same question just before the Champions League final. And Salah said, I want to meet Real Madrid, and we all know the story. So be very careful sometimes what you wish for. Yeah.
Coach,
Oh.
I just needed to find out about the mood from players. I'll tell you why.
Yes.
I come from Amazulu on Monday.
Yeah.
I even, I was worried. I thought I was at a player and passing on announcement. The dejection there after losing the MTN 8 it overspilled into the Monday. The press conference was the dullest I've ever attended. And from your side, which one is worse to play against a club that just won a trophy or a club that just lost a final, in a sense of the MTN 8 that was played last week, and you're going to play Amazulu in the morning? Does it matter to you? Is it one of the opportunities that you take and say they are at their lowest low, let's hit them when they're low? Or how do you work around the situation?
It's a tough one, and I'm going to be short on this, and I'm going to try and be short on this. But you are right that psychologically that factor is a factor that influences performance, and for sure that is true. But the biggest mistake that we would ever make is to profile Amazulu based on their recent results. If we do that, we will be in trouble. The way you've got to profile Amazulu at this moment in time, you know how it is you start at the back, Veli Motor, Bafana International. You go into the midfield, you've got a Koki in the midfield, one of the best players and most consistent players this season, in my opinion, as a central midfielder. You go to George Malulega, who's playing exceptionally well at this present moment in time. You've got a Keegan Buchanan that initiates build-ups under pressure from the left, from the right half space, from deeper, from higher positions. He can help you on dead ball situations, free kicks, and things like that. You've got Quem, who can score at any time. You've got a Gabadinho Mango, and we all know Gabadinho Mango, and his love for this trophy, you know. So, for sure. So we will not make that mistake about thinking about Amazulu and their past results. Absolutely no chance.
Thanks.
Coach, I'd love to pick your brains on something related to this.
For sure.
I'm sure over the last week or so you've followed what is happening with our cricket national team, the coaches, from the World Cup in Australia, where they didn't perform to the expectations of the public. And as a result of that, most of the pressure has been put on Temba on the side. I just want to find out from you, if you were to comfort Temba or say something to sort of try and help him through what he's going through now, what would that be?
Sure. It's a very difficult question to answer. First, because I will be the first one to tell you that I do not have the expertise and I am not good enough from a psychological perspective to give anybody any form of psychological advice. I don't have those qualities, hence I'm a football coach. So it becomes very, very difficult. The second thing also is I don't know the human being very, very well. And the mistake that we make in modern day society, and it could be because of the advancement of technology and science, the incredible influence of social media. The biggest mistake that we make now in modern day society is that we dehumanize athletes. We dehumanize coaches, we dehumanize football players, we dehumanize cricketers, rugby players. And our thinking is just that Teboho is just a football player and his job is to run on the pitch and deliver. Yet we forget that Temba Bavuma has a family, he's got kids, he's got a heart, he's got a mind, he's got emotions. And we also don't understand, and this is where the little bit of what I read about on psychology, because I have to have a little bit of that to deal with the players. And when you think about anthropology, And anthropology says to you, as a psychological study, that you as a human being are what you are as a result of your upbringing and the experiences that you've had in the past. So, not knowing who Themba is as a human being, how he feels, how he acts, how he responds to certain things, what level of spirituality is he at? Not knowing his past experiences, what he's gone through, the pains, the happiness, the joys. Now, I'm saying it becomes very, 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 very difficult for me then to sit in a position and say, I can offer Themba advice on how to deal with this situation. But the only thing that I can say, and this is not to Themba, but it is more to everyday society, including modern day media, is that we have this tendency of dehumanizing people and not understanding that there is absolutely no football player, no coach, no athlete, nobody that walks onto the pitch and wants to deliberately put on a performance that is subpar. Nobody does that. But the reality is, it is made out to seem like that. So my only form of contributing to the Themba situation, without overstepping the mark and thinking that I am good enough or more qualified enough or I know enough to be able to give him advice, my only contribution is just to keep him in my prayers and pray that God gives him enough strength to be able to overcome the situation. And that's it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.